This is it started taping. Okay, this is a summary for people who are new, and I had several people that were actually logging on when I was talking last time, and they left um, uh, comments what exactly I'm talking about. Thank you for whoever is interesting. So I would like to say hello to everybody who is a member of my community and who is not. Become one. Just simply subscribe and hit the button there for the bell. So here's the deal. I'm just gonna do really short stuff. As I repeat a lot of times, my late father, who I think was murdered a long time ago, 32 years ago, almost 33, in Ukraine, was one of the inventors of impulse technology. Impulse technology was initially done for accelerators, nuclear accelerators, and they later on the technology is being used in weaponry and next generation weapons who are used for to be first based in a upper atmosphere because they don't require oxygen, and then there is a lot of places already in the world that is has possession of the or they have possessions of this technology. My father was, as I said, was a long time ago. Something happened to him. My mother was aware of this technology, and she had some kind of a control of it for a while. And with her Bulgarian husband in the 80s, she worked in Angola, Africa. And she, as I said, she had information about uh, spreading of this technology, specifically in the area she worked in Angola, as I said, during the war with South Africa. And as I said, I'm not going to get into details because if you can go through my videos, I explain some things about things, as I said. So the second thing is simple. When something happened to her here in Atlanta, Georgia, and it was going on through several years, and in my opinion, she was hit by impulse um, weaponry. She had all the possible symptoms, and the problem is that the uh, what happened to her when she died, her body was lost, and for 2 days in the morgue, and we couldn't do the autopsy, which kind of created more suspicions for me. And as I said, in my opinion, she was murdered because of her knowledge of spreading of this, I call it proliferation of this type of technology in Africa. The fortunate thing that about 8 months ago, the CBS 60 Minutes, the political TV show, said that there was about 1,000 Americans hit by impulse weaponry, including there was a recent death of a former CIA agent, a woman who was hit by impulse technology and died from liver cancer of some kind because of mutation of it. So the thing is, as I said, really simple. I was years in a row a target of gang stalking, and was harassed, and things keeps repeating itself. And specifically here in Atlanta, for about several months now, I'm collecting information about the gang stalking and the about what my mother did actually while she already was when she died. I start researching stuff, which kind of brought up a lot of things. And what happening in Atlanta, I have unbelievable hostile situation. We had I start having harassment on the base of race, and I'm only one person out of 40 people, white, and I had the situation. It's unbelievable and ugly. I got tired of kind of having getting into situation that I can be called racist, and I just simply decided to stop reacting. And over the last, as I said, several weeks, there's a possibility there's some stuff developed. They simply gonna get me fired. And as I said, in my opinion, there was no reason for that. And 2 days ago, I had a reprimand by Allied Universal. I work for Allied Universal Security, the one of uh, the biggest security company in the world. They recently bought J4S from London, and as I said, continuing, I this is what, as I said, the deal is. My mother was something happened to her that confirms my suspicion was that there was a refusal to do an autopsy. There was a whole bunch of stuff happened, including financials. I had attempt to have my uh, condominium hijacked. Not just hijacked; it's already being set up. Some of my bosses for Allied Universal uh, cut my pay. It was a year ago without telling me what's going on. When they made me a supervisor, and it's now it's gonna cost me my apartment. And as I said, in the recent few months, I have situation of harassment, and not just harassment, but I would say in very well organized intimidation. And if I will confront it, as I said, there's a possibility I can be treated as a racist, but I never was a racist, and I didn't have anything to do with whatever they were telling me. So, um, this is the short version of stuff. Uh, the uh, the impulse technology is being spread all over the world in general. I never had any cent. I didn't have a simple cent from my father's invention. Instead of that, I had, as I said, I had gangstalking, I had harassment, I had intimidation, I had threats. And it's not just in Salt Lake City, where I live almost 30 something years. Actually, I had my family there, I had my son was born there, and something happened that would simply was followed by a breakup of my family, my divorce, and at the same time, a harassment started here while I was taking care of my mother. Okay, and now as a result, I'm in the process of losing my condominium, which is gonna lose about $200,000. I mean, in general, I hope they don't steal it all. I mean, whatever they take the apartment, they'll have to sell it, and whatever is left, some of the stuff is supposed to go through me, but will it go? I have no idea. And the same time, so de facto, I can become homeless. In the same time, I have situations that are being done at work that can make me unemployed. Okay. I think I was the target of a entrapment last year. I was supposed to look like I'm stealing money from the government, but I never did. So I was double crossed by the bank. It was interesting situation. Again, it's always interesting situation, and uh, this is again bottom line. That is political bottom line. Um, there are people out there, okay, that hijacked my father's apartment. I'm sorry, hijacked my apartment de facto to take it from me because They don't want me to profit from my investment in order simply to start new life. I wanted to sell my apartment after my mother's death, simply take the money and go back to Utah, Salt Lake City, where I live. I said more than 33 years. I am in the United States a very long time, and since the time of Ronald Reagan. I have really good apartment here in Atlanta that, as I said, is about to be lost. It's in Buckhead, 6 minutes drive from place I work, and it's called Buckhead Grand. It's next of Buckhead Station, just right there. And there is some kind of a university there next to it. I think some kind of a business university, and very good place. And as I said, and we have it in our family for 20 years, is the time the building was built. My mother lived there for a while. She was a long-term professor in Cycling Community College in electronics, and she was PhD. So we can kind of have um, good people in our family, and the as I said, situation was very interesting. She traveled all over the world, and she worked in Africa. She had connection to Kenya. By the way, the Barack Obama and her they crossed roads in August of 1988 in Nairobi. I'm sorry, I have the acid here that I have. My it's a damage from my poisoning. I was poisoned 2 years ago, and not just that I was poisoned 2 years ago. That is scary, but the when we try to figure out how can when I try to figure out how people can poison me, and ended up with a simple opinion that somebody got into my apartment, and um, there was a change of people already in homeowners association, and the person who I wanted to talk to 2 weeks after my poisoning was killed, and it was killed in so-called midtown shooting by a woman from um, Cameroon, Africa. He was executed with another colleague of his, and to shot a third person as well. So two, they had after the shooting, they had two people dead, and um, unfortunately, the prosecution in Atlanta, Georgia, decided not to prosecute her, but declare her mental unstable, that she cannot respond to her charges. So de facto, the person who was had some kind of answers for possibility of who could have access to my apartment while my mother was there and I worked at the Piedmont Center. Um, he was assassinated, de facto. He was executed. And the person who did this, is going to be declared crazy. So there's a lots of conspiracies to think about that this is conspiracy. There's a lot of coincidental situations that are believably ugly. And as I said, what it's really going on in the latest situation is very simple. There is an attack on my apartment. They will take my apartment. There's not much I can do. The problem is when. If it's going to be next week or it's going to be in another 10 months. You see, some people, when they're in foreclosure, they can have uh, the apartment be used for a very long time. But at the same time, somebody tried to hit. Somebody tried to hit on my job in a way that I have a problem. The situation that I had, as I said, was written up for a very small thing, which makes me think it's simply the need of a record of me being bad worker. But as I said, I worked there 5 years. I don't have any problems in general, and the usually management when they have somebody like me that stays there for years, and there's a turnover within the company. Sometimes there's big turnover, sometimes not, but usually they prefer to keep people like me for a long time because they're kind of a stable person within the group. And yet, there's another coming. There is another writing up college. The fact that they want to make me look like I'm bad worker or an unsubordinate. So that's what it is. And whoever watches my videos now understand what I'm talking about. It's like a short version of what is happening. As I said, with me, the scary part is very simple. If I lose my condominium and I lose my job, they're going to be a problem because you ended up homeless with no income. Even though I'm due to collect Social Security, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be soon. And I was planning on going back to Salt Lake City, and since I'm security supervisor, I'm a supervisor. I'm not just somebody who is uh, just patrolman. I am a supervisor, and supervisor they have highest level of stuff. And what happens? I wanted simply to go Salt Lake City, but now if there is a problem with some kind of a disciplinary thing, they will do the way that they won't be able to hire me in Salt Lake City. So I don't know. As I said, I don't know what's happening, but I said there is an action that is really, really ugly. So that's why I say you have to look who is paying for it. There's always somebody who is, um, some people do the dirty job, and then there's always somebody who is paying for it. Like in some situation, for instance, if somebody, it's like a job, somebody doesn't want to work, somebody has to work, and so there is somebody will pay equally to each side, and this is how it is. So somebody actually has to take money from somebody who is not working. I mean, so who is working, and give it to somebody who is working. It's called work. Anyway, that's what it is, and I hope my story is short, even though it's 18 minutes. But as I said, a lot of people just simply say, "What are you talking about?" They kind of, if they go through all my videos, but my videos are 200, a lot something. I already know 240, 150. So I just do. I have to start doing periodically. Bottom line, what is new, and kind of include them in the entire explanation of things. Okay, thank you guys, and I hope this video loads fine because sometimes when I do live video, I will um, I will do the I wait for until it loads. Like sometimes it takes hours. Okay, good night.